Hello there everyone, and welcome back to this 30 Years War Battle series. We've marched on and we are at a new battle, the Battle of Nördlingen, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but first I want to go through, as I always do, or I try to do as often as possible, is to remind everyone that we're not trying to recreate it, but we're sort of recreating the conditions of the battle, the troops and the terrain, but then we fight it out in sort of exactly how we want to do it, or how we maybe would do it. And so the outcome of the different battles might differ a lot. For the last battle we did the Battle of Lützen, where famously the Swedish king died. In our version of the battle he didn't die, and the Swedish were able to send it was more of a decisive victory for the Swedish, since the king didn't die, than what happened in real life. And so this battle comes around very much because the Swedish king died, because the Catholics were able to renew the fighting spirit, as it were, and they were able to gain ground, and then they arrived here at the Battle of Nördlingen. We're gonna just take a look a bit at the forces here. I've been spanning around a bit. So we got the Catholic cavalry back here. We've got 3 units of the Piccolomini cuirassier on this side. And then on the right side we got 3 units of Pappenheimer cuirassier. So they have a lot of cavalry, so already from the start I knew that I was gonna have a problem fighting their cavalry. Then we got the general moving over here, and next to it we've got a Terrico, or the Gran Terrico Vieo de Napalones. So it's we're using the Spanish army because we want to change it up a bit. I probably shouldn't have a Swedish army because not a single actual Swedish unit took part, but a lot of units that the Swedish recruited, famously recruited, were there. So no actual Swedish unit was at the battle, unlike the last Battle of Lützen. But anyways, we've got 2 of these, and then I think we have 2 Terrico Department de Flanders, which is 2 musket unit. We got the other one coming up there, and then we got more muskets over here, backed up by pikes. So another similar here, and then here we got another one, the White Brigade, backed up by the White Regiment. As we can see here, they're all sort of Guy Fawkes impersonators with halberdiers, and then he's got his cannons strung out along here. So that's the Catholic force. On our side, the Swedish side, now the Swedish had their allies strung out along here, but they got crushed and there wasn't room enough to put them in, and I didn't have enough units and so on. So we left the left part of the battle out. But on my side I have only 4 units of cavalry. I believe, yes, 4 units of cavalry. So we got 2 units of Cornet Harkebusiers. We've got another one down there. And then we have a unit next to that, which is a cuirassier unit. And you can compare this unit, sort of how heavily armored this one is, compared with, or how littly armored, littly, what kind of word is that? Compared with, say, the Pappenheimer cuirassier. So you can see that in cavalry wise I'm not having the best of days. But in artillery my position is a lot better than my enemy, but we have the same amount of artillery. Then over on the infantry side we got 3 units of Yellow Brigade. Now technically I wouldn't have Yellow Brigade because the Yellow Brigade wasn't there, but we took that because it sort of it was I don't think we actually looked too closely there, but we took these because there were I'm not sure if there is an army set up that has the actual units that took part in the battle in the same way. But we've got 3 pikeman units here, and then 3 musketeers in front, and then on this side we got 3 pikemen and 3 musketeers. But on the furthest here we've got the Mackays, the Scots that were there on the battlefield as well, and then we got the cavalry. So as I said, the Battle of Nördlingen took place because the Catholics were forcing their way back into Protestant territory, or well, they were advancing on Protestant territory, and their armies with renewed vigor as the Swedish king had died, and they came into the Battle of Nördlingen. We've got the river here behind us. I can't remember what river it's supposed to be. And then, as I said, there were allies, the allied unit that was crushed over here. But in the historical battle, the Swedish side lost, and they lost quite heavily in this battle because of certain things that we might go into. But they lost so badly, and the entire sort of thing sort of fell in shambles. The king had died, the Swedish king had died the year before, and now they had this defeat to handle, and everything seemed to be crumbling around them. And at this point, the Cardinal de Richelieu was able to convince the French king that now was the time to act, because otherwise the Catholics were going to be able to sort of regain and become, you know, regain their strength. And even if the French are Catholic, their hatred against the Protestants is not enough compared with their hatred against the Habsburgs. So they really want to beat the Habsburg. So they're gonna go ahead and ally with the Protestants, which might seem like, wait a minute, they're Catholic. Well, they hate the Habsburgs more than they hate the Protestants. And I think we're gonna have the battle commence pretty soon here. But it is... oh yes, there it starts off. I want to see the guns go off, or my cannon shots, because they're gonna hit this unit, I think. And that was quite devastating. And then we're gonna look on the cavalry over on the right. Let's see when the cannon go there. I think they're about to fire. Boom! The cannon shots go through, and quite a lot of people died. The Catholics are advancing, therefore, the cavalry force, since they have quite a lot of it, they're advancing it on my left, and I realize that I'm going to be screwed. So I think I will be moving one unit over to this side, but that's not going to be enough. At the same time, this unit is faring very badly. It seems like the Catholic force is more or less aiming in very much on this one, and it's getting hammered. Catholic artillery, though, has very limited success in hitting anything throughout the battle. The Catholic cavalry is coming off the hill. It is about to climb our hill and fight our troops there. At the same time, my advance on the right up the slope is gonna come to a halt, because I'm gonna concentrate so much over here, and we're gonna fare pretty badly here as well, as my musketeers, unprotected, standing in the front, are gonna get hit as we line up our troops, and because of the angle here they won't be able to fight properly. One of my cavalry units have engaged the enemy here. The Piccolomini are coming down, and the Swedish are trying to force their way up. I think that what I was trying to do was get to the cannons, but I was unable to do that, and the cavalry is broken. And this, I'm gonna leave this side now because we've got the cavalry going on this side. The Pappenheimers are charging in to the Harkebusiers, and they're not gonna stand a chance against these heavily armored cavalry, as you can see, compared with the Harkebusiers. Oh well, it looks like he slaughtered his friend as well. They are broken quite quickly, and now we only have we have our own cuirassiers over here, and then we've got another unit over here. No, it's actually the same unit. Is it only? No, there's two. Did I already rally the one that... Did I have more units than I thought? Anyways, to try to switch the odds around, I moved my general here in a bold move and put him behind. I did a similar thing in the Battle of Lützen, if you saw that video. I moved my general behind, and he was able to lay in fire into the back of the enemy cavalry, which was able to turn around the fight. Now in this, my cavalry is about just routing all over the place, not doing very well. This is gonna hold out over here a bit longer, but the enemy cavalry has free reign now, which is very bad. And the general is over here, and all their units are on this side-ish. So not very good. I've moved one of the pike units over to protect the flank, and we got this tiny force of Harkebusiers coming back, taking part in the battle. Same time as I was talking about, we can see here over on my right that the musketeers are engaged here. Same with the Scots that are engaged with heavy cavalry. So seemingly it's not going very well. Our skirmish cavalry is back, but it's not really going to be able to stand against the Piccolomini cavalry. Oh, the Piccolominis are actually routing. So they will stand against the Piccolomini. I think there might have been 2 units of Piccolomini, and as one of them routed through, the other one gave way as well. So there was one actually fighting, and then there was one that got stuck on the pikes, and as that one threw past, I guess both of them routed. And this Harkebusier unit managed quite well. At this point, this one is now trying to lay canister on this unit. It's gonna go better when I turn it around, so we're gonna see some canister, which is pretty darn good. At the same time, this side, of course, not doing very well. But there's an absolute slaughter of the cavalry on this side. And even though I've lost my cavalry, or most of it, the enemy hasn't really... They've lost a lot as well. And they're unable to gain ground here and destroy, for instance, my cannons. They are going to attack. They are managing to attacking some of my musketeer units here. But they haven't completely destroyed this, because maybe sort of similar to what happened at Waterloo, the cavalry wasn't supported by the infantry. We still have a lot of Catholic infantry units just standing around here. And the commander himself said after the battle that, well, not the historical commander, but the guy I was playing against, he noted that he probably should have moved these guys up after his cavalry victory on this side, because then he could probably have crushed me. And now I'm able to sort of set my men back in order here as now the enemy advances. And then we have already sent off a lot of the enemy cavalry already. There are 2 cavalry units that are going around. The Pappenheimers over here. And this Piccolomini down here. But this one's shaken. And this one is shaken as well. And we've got the general riding around, trying his best to hold off the enemy cavalry. We got a single cavalry guy over here. So he's only one that survived from that unit. At the same time, the enemy infantry is advancing. The pike lines are advancing. But my cannons, having their good position, are able to put down quite a lot of good fire. And I think I'm gonna at some point here switch to canister, and we'll see if we'll be able to get some of those shots off. I've got my canister unit over here, although they're not manning the gun right now. I could have probably pressed the attack here better, but because I was under quite heavy attack here, I was trying just to hold on to my position here on the very steep hill. But the Catholics are about to contact with the lines over here. And I think it's time for the musket brigades to fall back. Seems like they might want to put off a... They're going to put a volley right into them. But they're going to hold their position way too long. And quite a few of them are going to get slaughtered. Run away! Save yourselves! And now, pike against pike. The Protestants push forwards. And we can see how they're really hammering into this unit, which is breaking apart. Because they had 2 units there that was able to just... It looks as though... Yeah, they pushed straight through this. When I played it, I wasn't able to go close and look at a lot of this, so... but over on this side, I was able to put 2 units on their 1, so it sort of equaled out there. So we'll see now when this unit will turn and attack these guys in the flank, and this one will probably try to march out towards the musketeers out there. General still alive. Cannons over here. I believe I ordered them to fire canister, but as you know in this, they have to, once they've been given the target, they will reload, and that will take quite a while. So not very good. At the same time, the enemy general is gonna head and join the fray as the last cavalry unit on the battlefield for the enemy. And since he is fighting in hand-to-hand combat, and my general is just sitting here, he's able to fire into these guys and shoot quite a few of them, sort of making sure that we have more men in our crew than them. But the cannons are not doing very well. But the pike fight has turned around since they weren't really able to quickly enough. You can see the massacre that took place here of all the yellow uniforms compared with these guys. But now, when they're outnumbered, they're getting their comeuppance, as it were. And now the musketeers are setting up back here to fire into the back of these guys. Same time, the generals are now fighting each other. Let's see if we can find... I believe that wasn't the... I'm not sure who's the general here. In our unit, let's see. I think it should be, let's see, the guy next to, is it this guy? That's supposed to be the general, or is it this guy? Or is it this? This might be it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out, at the same time I'm trying to figure out who's the general in this unit. They're trying their best, but now they're actually going in and fighting here against pikemen, which is not gonna go very well. And I think we're gonna hear soon that the enemy general has died. He's doing his best, but there we go. The enemy general was slain. And as that has happened, we've got a pike fight going on here. I put the cannons here to try to get some canister going into the side. We got a small arquebusier unit, some gunners back and forth. The Scots are fighting the White Brigade over there. We got an enemy cannon back here. There's not a lot of time left before the battle is won. The cannons have loaded canister, but it looks like they're gonna fire somewhere completely different. And they fired over here, breaking this unit. I don't think I ever really got any good canister shots off because of the angle, but it would have been cool if I could have gotten a nice shot of that. And so, as I say, in the historical battle, the Protestants lost, which led to the French joining in. But in this one, I would say it was a minor victory for the Protestants. And here the Scots taking prisoners, well, they're slaughtering their way through the enemy. And here we can see the results, the men deployed and so on. It only, the difference are only a few, like, well, that's, let's see, that's 20 something men. And we can see the men lost compared with the men killed. We can see here that I killed about 200 of my own, just through you know what, if you add on the prisoners, then you get the right result. So I didn't kill 200 of my own. It's closer to 150 of my own. While the enemy did not kill that many of their own at all, they killed about maybe 40 of their own. Highest killers were, let's see, I only get the results from my side. I think they had quite a few, and a lot of the units are only listed as Yellow Brigade, so that doesn't really tell you much. But for instance, the general, my general, lost about half his unit, but he killed almost 100 people, and then 60 were taken prisoner. So I was able to use my general very well, and then I think if we compare the result of the cannons, one of my cannon, which was the one right here, probably didn't do so well, but the other two did pretty well, which I think did a lot of it. And then we can see some of my cavalry did really poorly, which I think comparatively they did, the enemy probably did better. Same here, but there's one unit there that stands out because it took 111 prisoners. Then we can see, let's see, there are a number here that this unit was completely destroyed, lost all its men. This one only lost 4. But yeah, there we have the Battle of Nördlingen. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.